Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday, January 29th. I have some very bullish news for you guys. Hope you're holding strong in this new asset class that is cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Now, of course, this is not financial or investment advice. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Also, hit the thumbs up button. Let's jump into it, guys. First news here that is super bullish. We have news from Fidelity that they are planning to launch in March their Bitcoin custody service. Now, back in Q3 of 2018, we heard about Fidelity Digital Assets, which they are, I'm just going to read it off the website for you guys to make things simple, institutional solutions for a new asset class. This is music to my ears. This is very bullish. And as I've stated many times, these folks, these companies and corporations and Wall Streeters are not getting into this market to lose money. They are not investing time, resources, and taking investments and so forth. I'm talking millions of dollars to have it all go to zero. This is a new asset class that is going to take off. We are in the infrastructure stage and it's being built out. And those who are patient, those of us who are patient and are in it for the long term, will be rewarded because these folks are going to pump this market back up with mass marketing and utility, guys. And it's going to be, like I said, the new asset class. And we're going to see a lot of the traditional investment money move into crypto. And of course, Fidelity itself has a very long history. I think they manage, I think it's in a trillions, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it's around there. It's definitely high billions into trillions that they manage. So can you imagine moving some of their clients' money to crypto? Very big things are ahead. And as the article states here in Bloomberg, the service may help institutional investors ease into crypto, commonplace in other assets, custody absence, keeps pros out. So one of the things the SEC cited in rejecting certain ETFs and so forth was the ability for the custody service, where ensuring that these assets can be securely stored and not hacked, right? And the other part is manipulation and so forth. But you need custody service, and Fidelity can act as an on-ramp for other banks and institutions to leverage their services, right? So this is great news. So let me give you the details. Fidelity Investments is targeting a March launch date for its Bitcoin custody service, according to 3 people with knowledge of the matter, as the mutual giant moves forward with a plan that could ease fears of trading cryptocurrencies. In October, the Boston-based firm announced it would offer a range of crypto products designed for large investors like hedge funds. Bitcoin storage will be the first one available, according to employees of 3 firms that spoke with Fidelity in the past several weeks and asked not to be named, discussing plans that are still private. Ether custody is expected to be next, so obviously Ethereum. And as you can imagine, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and so forth, it's going to go down the list. We are currently, here's a quote, "We are currently serving a select set of eligible clients as we continue to build our initial solutions." So as I said, these things are being built out, so that's why we have to be patient. The company said in a statement on Tuesday, "Over the next several months, we will thoughtfully engage with and prioritize prospective clients based on needs, jurisdiction, and other factors. Custody, a commonplace practice in conventional financial markets like stocks." So going back to my point of what the SEC is looking for the ETF and why a lot of the big money are not just going to dump their money in. They need to make sure there's security, they can store their crypto, and of course, having a well-established brand and company and organization like Fidelity offering it is a major win. Likewise with Bakkt, who will be doing the same because they're backed by the parent company in the New York Stock Exchange, ICE. So when you have these established players setting up the infrastructure for the big money, this is a great sign because, once again, the brand recognition, the trust is already there from these companies being established for a long time. So I don't even need to go into more of this, guys, but you have it here. And it looks like March. Now, could it be that they know something we don't know? Because they're aiming for March. And keep in mind, the Token Taxonomy Act hasn't been planned yet, or excuse me, passed yet. So maybe we might see an approval of the Token Taxonomy Act. Maybe they know something we don't. I'm just speculating at this point or making an educated guess, but this is a good sign that they have a range of time not too far away, you know, within Q1. And I'm assuming Bakkt is going to try to match that. But Bakkt has, you know, mentioned that they need the CFTC approval. Fidelity has not mentioned that. It could be because they're not offering any futures, you know, physically delivered futures, but they're launching at least some trading services via Fidelity Digital Assets, and of course the custody service. So they may not need that clarity, but let's see what happens. There's a lot of moving parts here and some insight that we don't have. But guys, Fidelity launching their services, I mean, this is big time. This is game changing. So big news here. Next news, many of you may I had reported about this, like I think it was last year. Ex-Starbucks CEO and presidential hopeful Howard Schultz is a crypto fan. So this guy's been a fan of crypto, and he's the ex-Starbucks CEO, so obviously well known, and he's looking to be a U.S. presidential candidate, which is interesting. And he obviously has, like I said, a bullish outlook on crypto and thinks cryptocurrencies might be widely used in the future. So Starbucks chairman emeritus and former CEO Howard Schultz, who announced Sunday that he was considered making a run for the highest office in the U.S., has previously said that he sees cryptocurrencies as a future part of cashless digital economy, though he did not see Bitcoin as a legitimate cryptocurrency. So he has a positive outlook. We know Starbucks is partnered with Bakkt, which would allow you to essentially if you're signed up with Bakkt and they're storing your crypto, you could take their app and go into Starbucks and purchase a coffee or whatever it is. Now, it's not a crypto transaction directly. It's a crypto to fiat payment, but still a step in the right direction. So if someone like this were to become the president, someone who's pro crypto, obviously this would be very, very big, guys. So let's see how this plays out for Mr. Howard Schultz. And we need more crypto-friendly folks to be positioned in governments and these prominent positions so that crypto can be adopted and grow, guys. And that's why I always keep harping and reiterating that we are the pioneers. We're very early. We're the early adopters, and patience is the key here. Now, we have some news that former Trump cabinet member joins crypto firm. We've been talking about the mass exodus from government, from traditional markets and companies to crypto companies. And it goes back to my point. Would these people be going to a dying market? They don't want to lose. No one wants to have instability and lose their job and so forth, right? These people have bills to pay. They have their livelihood and their family and so forth to support. So Ryan Zinke, I would guess, the former Secretary of the Interior Department, will be joining Artillery One, a cryptocurrency investment firm. I've actually never heard of Artillery One, as a managing director following his early resignation from the department, according to a report from Vice News, January 25th, 2019. Bullish behavior. Ryan Zinke is known for being the former Secretary of Interior Department of the United States, a position he occupied until his resignation in December 2018. He is, however, stepping into a new interesting role as the managing director of Artillery One. This article kind of repeats itself. A blockchain and cryptocurrency investment firm. His role was just announced in Switzerland, and it seems the new team is happy to have him, with Daniel Cannon, the CEO of Artillery One, saying, Secretary Zinke is a dynamic individual who served this country, and he deserves the attention. He's the man to look up to. I'm proud to have that he's part of Artillery One. So, guys, see what's happening here. I always tell you, watch what the big money's doing, watch what the government's doing, and these people who are in prominent positions. It tells a completely different story than what's going on in the market with the prices, right? And with the prices right now, we saw taking a bit of a dive over the past couple days, but price is a momentarily thing. It's a spec, as far as the price, it's affected by FUD. It's affected by market cycles, bear and bull. So you can't just focus on it. It is important because we're here to make money, but you have to understand where we are at. We're very early. And I always go back to the dot-com era. If someone came to you in the early 90s and said, hey, there's this new company called Google, there's this new company called Amazon, would you have been patient if you were invested in those companies? Someone told you about it and you said, you know what, Google makes sense, I see what they're trying to do, or Amazon makes sense, I see what they're trying to do. Would you have had the patience to hold to make your money on their stock run-ups, guys? And now they're trillion-dollar companies, right? So I want you to think about that, especially those of you who are new to the market. So that's why I reiterate a lot of the principles and things about the market. If this is your Google and this is your Amazon, will you have the patience to hold? Something to think about. Now we got some news from Gemini. I'm not a huge fan of the Winklevoss twins and some of the things they do, but I do like to. I am fair. I like to look at the facts, and I call people out on things they're doing wrong, but I also call them out when they're doing something great and right. Well, they continue to push Gemini and building out infrastructure around Gemini for the market, guys. Gemini completes SOC2 review, a world's first for a cryptocurrency exchange and custodian. In 2018, Gemini engaged with Big Four auditor Deloitte and Touche LLP to execute a SOC2 SOC for Service Organizations Type 1 examination. After months of preparation and in-depth external review, we are pleased to announce that Gemini has successfully completed its SOC2 Type 1 examination. This makes Gemini the world's first cryptocurrency exchange and custodian to demonstrate this level of security compliance in protecting customer data and funds. This is so important. Remember, many of us use exchanges. We want to make sure that they have the highest and most up-to-date security as possible to protect our data, so it's not being hacked or easily accessible by hackers. So this is great, and like I said, I have to call them out. They're doing a great job. These guys are really being aggressive. Now they own a lot of Bitcoin, so they definitely want to. They definitely have incentive to see this market grow. But they are building great things, and as you guys recall, I shared the photos of them doing aggressive marketing in New York City, which is the first I've seen from a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, other exchanges have done marketing, but they did very aggressive. I'm talking about cars, taxis, buses, billboards, and so forth, subway. So very aggressive, and got to give them their shout out for pushing things along here. So they said providing you with a safe and secure platform to buy, sell, and store your cryptocurrency is paramount to our mission to build the future of money. And this is important because it raises the bar higher, and that means other exchanges will have to do follow suit to stay competitive. Definitely a move in the right direction, guys. So shout out to the Winklevoss twins. Now, crypto payment firm volume of transactions in Africa has risen 130% in 2018. Now, we've talked about crypto being global and the impact and the potential. That's why this market is going to skyrocket once we have clarity and all the infrastructure is built up, because it's going to be global. You think about the last bull run we had, and it was driven by retail. Imagine institutions, retail, and this thing is global, and new markets opening up. Man, the prices are going to be ridiculous once it takes off. But we're seeing in certain countries where you wouldn't really expect, and certain, obviously Africa is a continent, there's multiple countries within it, but we're seeing folks in areas where they're unbanked and there's not much access to infrastructure and so forth. People still have smartphones and they're able to access crypto and use it. So a site enabling customers to buy Bitcoin using hundreds of different payment methods says demand is thriving despite declining cryptocurrency prices, with Africa being its biggest market. Paxful says volume of transactions it has processed on the continent has risen by more than 130%, and now an average of 17,351 trades per day are being made by its users in Africa. This is great news, and it's great to see that these folks in Africa are being able to use this. And, you know, some of the countries in Africa are under dictatorships, and, you know, these governments that are not democratic, and you know, crypto is going to be a way for them to be able to at least circumvent all, you know, some of the restrictions that are on them, the authoritarian governments and so forth. So this is a great sign, as well as enabling customers to buy crypto using debit cards and platforms such as PayPal. The company has carved a niche in the market by allowing users to exchange gift cards and vouchers for Bitcoin. Indeed, Paxful says that this was the most popular payment method for crypto last year in terms of trading volume. So, guys, it's happening globally. This is the news you want to see and hear about. And sure, I know some folks are getting impatient and they want to, you know, they want to see a bull run right away. But let's let it play out. We are at least seeing progress, and that's important. Now we got some news from Mr. Charlie Lee here. Litecoin. I still hold some Litecoin. You know, I have to be honest. You guys have seen if you've been subscribed to this channel, I've lost a lot of faith in Litecoin just because of what Charlie Lee did last year. You know, the all-time highs, he dumped all his Litecoin, and sure, he said, you know, he was doing it for the right reasons, and the Litecoin Foundation will lead things now, but you know, it wasn't a great sign. It was definitely not a great sign, you know, what he did. But I'm still holding on to my Litecoin because I see at least the Litecoin Foundation is making some progress and pushing things, like they're doing marketing with the UFC and so forth. So, you know, my confidence is not at 100% with them, but I still have some confidence, you know, and that this might play out well for them. But let's see. I'm not dumping because I bought Litecoin, you know, when it was cheap. So I you know, certainly can make a profit, even if it goes up a little bit more. So, but Litecoin creator Charlie Lee to make coin more fungible and private. So this is interesting. Charlie Lee, Litecoin's creator, declared that he will focus on making the major cryptocurrency more fungible in a tweet on January 28th. Lee stated in the tweet that fungibility is the only property of sound money that is missing from Bitcoin and Litecoin, adding that the next battleground will be fungibility and privacy. The tweet's conclusion is that the developer wants to zero in on implementing private transactions in Litecoin, stating, "I am now focused on making Litecoin more fungible by adding confidential transactions." Now, the privacy thing, I guess it depends how far they go with the privacy thing. I personally be on the record, guys, that I'm staying away from privacy coins. I like the idea of privacy coins, but my problem is it puts a risk in my portfolio because I know the governments are going to crack down on them. Just think about it. If we're asking the government to bring regulations to the crypto market, right? And so the big money can come in. What do you think they're going to do if you allow them, if they come in? We can't have both, right? It's a double-edged sword, but you got to look at the pros and cons. And if we want the market to become fully regulated and to grow so we can make money, they're going to have to regulate on certain things because the privacy coins can be used for illegal activities. And you know the governments are going to come after it. So that's just my opinion. It's not my, you know, people are probably going to get angry, say this and that, whatever, but not understanding it. I'm approaching this from a logical, factual standpoint. I'm not saying it because I hate Litecoin or I hate any privacy coins. It's just the fact of, you know, if the governments had, many of them already said their like target, one of their targets is privacy coins. So I'm just calling it like it is, guys. Lee also noted that in the same thread that the update would be implemented sometime in 2019. So let's see what happens. It looks like I skipped something here. Lee explained that confidential transactions could be added to Litecoin through a soft fork. A soft fork is a modification made in the cryptocurrency source code that doesn't lead to a division of the blockchain as happens with a hard fork. So like I said, this could happen in 2019. So let's see what happens. Maybe Charlie and the Litecoin Foundation can turn this around. I hope so. You know, Litecoin's not that bad. Sure, it doesn't measure up to certain coins like XRP and so forth, but it is much better to use and from a speed and transaction per second than, let's say, Bitcoin. So let's see what they can do. And it will be able to leverage a Lightning Network, but let's see when this Lightning Network comes around, guys. We've been waiting for a long time. And finally, guys, we got some news from Bittrex. They have has been approved as a money transmitter in the state of Illinois, and they provided their license. It says we're excited to welcome Illinois customers for the first to join our USD market. So as you know, Bittrex has been adding fiat pairing, and they've been doing it state by state. They have a good amount of states right now, but there were still certain states. Obviously, each state has their own laws and local laws. So like New York has a bit license thing. So it's good to see they're making progress. I'm still waiting for them to, get some things going here in New Jersey, but progress being made, guys, and I'm super excited. I'm just happy. I feel lucky being very early in this market, especially with the prices being low again. That gives me another opportunity to accumulate. And I mean, if we were just talking about crypto in general and none of these type of activities and news and mergers and investments and all these things were happening, then we'll be like, what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. What we see, building, infrastructure, foundation being laid, big money getting in. I mean, big corporate giants and Wall Street giants, guys. It's all happening. And, a lot of the weak hands left the market as soon as they saw the price tumble, right? And not understanding market principles, that there will be corrections. The crypto is here to stay. I think if the folks who don't see that, I think then they deserve not to be here, because if they're only going to focus on price, then they become like the random Joe Schmoes who get played in other markets like stocks and so forth, right? But once you understand market cycles, then you can actually strategize and move the same way the smart and big money moves. And I want to move that way, not be the mainstream crowd that just follows headlines and gets duped, right? Just buying anywhere and anyhow and not thinking about what am I investing in here? What's happening in the market? Who's getting in? What's the utility? Where are we in the timeline? What's the market cycle that we're in right now? Because market cycles exist in real estate, stock market, other assets like precious metals. So hope you guys get that. And I would love to hear what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description, guys. Please help share my channel and videos with your friends and family so that they can help them maybe understand the facts and the things that are happening in the market versus just the price, right? So thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.